The official media state that since 14 February 2025, Pope Francis has been in a hospital due to a bilateral pneumonia. Connect with his state of health today, Friday, February 28, 2025, 3:15 p.m. And on three, tell me what you perceive. 1, 2, 3.
I perceive him as in a state of dissociation, almost his physical body. I perceive an image of him with his eyes wide open while someone is doing a procedure on his abdomen or something like that. But it's like his mind is disconnected. It's like he's looking into a blank and he's not really looking at something. It's like turning off a machine or something like that. A state of unconsciousness. Like his body does not belong to him. And it's almost like a process of reparations that is happening, of updating not updating, polishing in a way, or bettering the comes to me as implants. But the implant part is more on the metaphysical level. Yeah, it's like the access that the physical, the people from the physical level have on his body is connected to the access on the metaphysical, and while the procedure is being done in the physical, something else is happening in the metaphysical, the one with the implants.
Okay. Go to the moment when Pope Francis dies and tell me what you perceive in relation to the metaphysical level.
I'm perceiving some sort of recycling. It's like he signed up for this, and it's almost like he already knows what's the next step, or what he was told initially that are gonna be the next steps. And it's basically reincarnating in some type of cycle, or again in some type of role that can be controlled. Yeah, that's it. I just perceived him in the reincarnation space, and the information came to me about the...
Okay.
Yeah.
Very well. And now describe the corresponding physical level in the moment when this Pope dies.
Can you repeat the question? I didn't quite understand it.
So on the question before, it was more on the relation on the metaphysical level. And now I'll repeat this question again. And now describe the corresponding physical level in the moment when this Pope dies. On the physical.
The first thing that came to me as important, let's say, is the process of being buried. So it kind of continues this process of being attached to this dimension, to this physical reality, to this material reality, this act of the burial. So that's something that was also a part of that contract specified. Perceiving a lot of shock from the people. But that shock was something that was induced by the actions taken before in his living time. Something that was also kind of planned through subliminal messages and circumstances surrounding this Pope. So the effect of his death would also be beneficial for profiting off of the energy of the people reacting to this moment.
Okay, very well. And the last question. On 3, observe the future of the Catholic Church after the death of Pope Francis. 1, 2, 3.
I'm perceiving an image of inside of a church, and it's like rats coming out of a hole and spreading across the floor of the church. And I'm perceiving it as a metaphor for a certain amount of dirt, if I can say it like that, come out to the surface. So some type of break that happens, and there is information that comes to the surface. Can be from his time of life, of being alive, related to him, to the Pope, or in general of the acts of the church that are happening or happened, or something that was speculated about that comes out.
Okay. Do you perceive anything else? We can.
For now, no.
Okay. So we finished the fixed part. So you said that after his death, you saw, was it as a metaphor that rats were coming out of the church? What these rats represent at my tree? 1, 2, 3.
Like little secrets, or even big secrets, that that are kind of taking to the public, information, public consciousness, but not in a voluntary way. It's almost like a slip that happens, a little crack in the plan, something that has to do with it's like energies in the metaphysical and in the physical. It's like they're trying to go against the natural flow of Earth, of its vibrations, And it's almost like these energies collided and a slip happened. And a slip like this can happen at another event that is heavily energetically charged. So that's what it is, as I'm perceiving it.
You mentioned that it's a crack in the plan. What kind of plan is that?
A plan of maintaining, but also spreading continuously the, not even the church agenda, the religion agenda. Yeah, so at this point, it's like not only trying to get more people under the umbrella of religion, but also trying to, how do I say, manipulate kind of the information so people don't slip out of that umbrella.
Is it like hypnosis state?
In some cases, yes. When you said that, I had an image of, again, inside of a church, and the prayers that they do, kind of everyone together.
Yes.
That has some sort of controlling, under layer.
Are these prayers together like chant? Is it like chanting, using chanting, loud chanting? And the words together, they create something?
Yes. What I'm perceiving now is almost like the feature when you talk and something is transcribing the text for you, So what I'm seeing is these words being spoken in the physical, and it's almost like something is writing itself in the metaphysical. It's like command, those words that are being said, those prayers. It's, it's like almost adding layers to the subliminal parts that are involved in this.
What kind of layers do you perceive?
The word pollution came to me. Pollution layers, something that does not belong naturally in the space of a subliminal part. It's like, again, takes me back to the image of the stamp that I saw, the DNA of the Pope. It's like the initial phases of that. Some type of control that leads to, in some cases, to mental control, those type of things.
It's like pollution of mind, can say?
Yes, it can be the pollution of all the bodies or something in particular. I see it sticking to something that is already kind of out of harmony in the subliminal part. So it can be the emotional body or the sexual body, and it sticks to that part, the more condensed part.
So those one of the bodies have to be kind of unbalanced in order to be that effective?
Yes, I see it having more potential. And as I said that, I saw like people who say those prayers in a group, in the church. Yes. And I see some of them having like this extreme pain or desperation or those type of feelings.
Physical pain?
Yes, but
Okay.
physical and emotional, it can be both.
Okay.
Yes, but it just creates this imbalance in the bodies, in the energetical bodies.
Yes.
And it kind of attracts that pollution layer by itself almost.
Those prayers, where do they go? Who receives those prayers? Kind of general. Let's go to that group. You picture that group, yeah, praying. Let's see where those prayers go. They are going in the metaphysical. At my tree. 1, 2, 3.
I'm perceiving an image of there's multiple places where it goes, but the one that's stuck out to me is those prayers kind of giving or energizing the artificial pre-incarnation spaces that are made for some subliminal parts. And initially I saw the connection between some people that are praying for their family members that passed. And it's almost like the energy and the message from these prayers are going to that artificial pre-incarnation space and giving the power and the opportunity to the entities that are managing that space to further manipulate the subliminal parts. Some type of circuit that is energizing for them and is specifically, designed to suck that energy out of those prayers and in some cases use it as a showcase to show the subliminal parts that, oh, look, they miss you, they whatever message, and you have to go back
to them. So it's kind of, they use it as a trap, using their relatives or the one remained on the physical plane to get them trapped into the reincarnation cycle again.
Yes, it's almost like a battery for those spaces.
Kind of reincarnating with their own condition, not the subliminal parts conditions. What kind of entities? What do you perceive? Which one are those? That reincarnation space office. What do you perceive?
I'm perceiving multiple spaces. And it varies on kind of the subliminal conditions that the person had in his last life, just the previous one. The first space that I saw is managed by humanoids, and I saw a connection to the mental bodies, so they attract a specific kind of subliminal parts that had an issue with their mental body in their previous life. So they are kind of how do I say it? It's something in their sphere of interest, the mental body, so they can create scenarios. They create scenarios that are how do I say it? Easy to present to someone that is already vulnerable in that compartment.
Like they believe in that scenario, kind of they are co-creating, or they are.
Yeah. Exactly. So they have the connection to the mental body, and then another space that I saw, the reptilians that are kind of more into the sexual body and the emotional, but more with an accent on sexual, but they're both kind of. And in that case, I perceived people who had been through physical abuse, that type of scenarios in their previous life, and who hadn't um, processed them or integrated them, unhealed things.
Okay. Okay. Do you perceive another space? Those are like kind of the big ones, because I believe I might be subspaces and all that.
Yeah, I perceive there are a lot of them, but another one that came to me is kind of a bigger one, but with subliminal parts that um, have had implants for a long time, like for multiple lives. It's giving the kind of the visual of a friends hangout. So they all think they're friends and they're doing it together and they're all there for each other. Kind of that type of scenario. But it's artificial and it's not really the truth. But they can't really see it.
Is there a space where they are not present, those entities, or
Yes.
a clean space? Is it?
Yes. A lot of them. This the ones that I said is artificial spaces created by them to
So that
trap the subliminal parts.
so there's a clean space you mentioning?
Yes.
So the artificial ones are they are creating those artificial spaces, yeah, which looks like they are clean, like no, they have the feeling like it's a clean space, there is nobody there, and they can do their own choice on the next reincarnation.
It depends. These entities present themselves as different things, different figures. It depends on as I said, on the target audience, if I can say
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there subliminal parts that can make their own, they can have their own conditions on the next reincarnation cycle?
In these artificial spaces or in
On
general?
these artificial spaces, and on general, artificial, let's start with artificial.
Um, I'm perceiving that yes, a subliminal part can happen to be in that pre-incarnation space, or with those entities, and can kind of get a part of their own conditions, but it's still not their full choice. It's not. It's still
It's
something
not
that is.
100% their choice, right?
Yes, exactly. Some subliminal parts I perceive that kind of happen to go to those spaces, um, can actually get out of those spaces, but it depends on the conscious level of the subliminal part,
So
of
on
its
that,
vibration.
yes. So on the artificial spaces, they cannot have 100% be their own choice.
Yeah, not really, unless you manage to get out.
How can you manage to get out?
By remaining solid in your will of choice.
Okay.
Just staying on that no. And it's just really those subliminal parts that are really, how do I say it? They had been through some type of traumatic or those type of events in their previous lives, but they've come to a sense of realization and understanding, so they can kind of slip into that space through those, remaining emotions from the physical level. But once they pass from their physical body, it's like they regain a certain type of control.
They have more control on the metaphysical than the physical, because it's all conditioned. So, as I understand, I can say those artificial spaces are created by those who are praying for the ones that departed, can say.
Not only. It was just one example.
Okay.
Of where the energy of the prayer goes.
And about other spaces besides the artificial ones, you said that in general, is there like a space where a subliminal part can go and just put it's his or her own choice of reincarnation conditions?
Yes, and I am perceiving it that it's individual for each one. So there's not like a universal space. It's individual for each subliminal part. And they can reincarnate into this physical reality with their own, wishes, and choose the life that they want. Their own conditions, yes.
What condition those minimal parts they must have to in order to be able to have their own choice? What do you perceive? Like, it's a general idea, but it's
just being aware of your own power. They're like empowered presences.
Very well.
They came to a sense of consciousness and of energy that are so aware of themselves.
And now I want to talk about the Vatican, more on the Holy Year and the plagues. So there was a video, go watch it. It's from a few weeks ago, the Holy Door 2025. This was Unleashed, and it talks about the locusts. And then I had a video from December 2022, which I will also link in this video somewhere. So you're going to see it pop up here, which talks about around minute 17 and 10 seconds or 20 seconds, like 17 minutes in. It talks about the Vatican having a cross below the soul library, because there was another person saying they made this series on it, which discusses similar things to the drawing that I had. So I just want to go back to this drawing real quick and draw this up. Okay, so you have the Vatican right here, all right? And then it's on the Holy See, which translates, the sea is a water of body. In German, it's sea. It's water, like the sea, like the Mediterranean Sea, which is close to the Mediterranean Sea, by the way. Okay, so you have the Vatican, and you right below that. So this is like where it's on actual water. And you have these specks of souls. So there's a gazillion amounts of souls, okay? So you have all of them right here below the Vatican. And that is the Holy See, right? I'm not sure if you can actually see that. And then what I forgot to mention in that last video is the way that they're kept there is they can't escape because there's a cross right below. So this is a cross. It was like a huge, humongous cross. And I don't know if it was below like if there was right below the Vatican or right below the water, but there's a huge cross. The way I saw it was kind of, you know how they have crosses in swimming pools sometimes, similar to that. There's this huge cross below, and it's keeping these souls trapped. So that's why the souls can't escape, because of this cross. It's keeping them trapped somehow. That's the best way I can explain it. And I explained that in that one video from 2022. So this is not insight that I got like from a Sirius or whatever. It's been floating around for a while. It's just, I'm just talking about it right now because of the holy year and the locusts and the plagues it unleashed. So basically there's this cross keeping them trapped, and it's very hard for them. They can't escape. It's very hard for them even to, I mean, to have an awareness that they can escape. Where are these souls coming from? Like the gazillion amounts of souls that are trapped below. It's like, it's a library of souls. Binders full of souls, like one soul after, like these floating bodies underground. The cross is keeping them there. So it's like an energetic thing that's keeping them there. It's not an actual wood cross or whatever, but it feels like the cross is like drawn there, similar to how it's drawn on the bottom of a swimming pool, and it's energetically keeping them there. This is how energy works. You know, if people who work with energy, you know what I mean. So the cross is somehow trapping them there. And where do these souls come from? That's a good question, because what I strongly believe is it's not just people who believe in the Vatican, who are Catholic, who believe in all of this, because not every single one who visits the Vatican or who is Christian or whatever is trapped like, I mean, they're trapped still in a certain agenda, a certain programming, but they're not trapped in that way. But what I really feel is that they are trapped through there. When the last time the Holy Door opened was in 2015, and right after Central Africa, just pull this up where exactly it happens. Central Africa. Yeah, Central Africa had a huge ethnic cleansing, huge genocides happening. That I assume those are the souls that they're keeping. So before 2015, there were other things, you know, over the past 2,000 plus years that the Vatican has existed, or whenever it even came into existence. A lot of, just through a lot of these ethnic cleansings, a lot of things, the rituals that they're doing, a lot of things in general that they're just doing, you know, a lot of like murders, genocides, like the plagues, like everything that has the Vatican stamp on it and is done in the name of Christianity and the name of the Catholic Church, which is also why so many people tried to get away from the Vatican, including the Tudor, like the late Tudor house tried to get away from the Pope and the Vatican. Energetically, at least, there were other reasons, political reasons to that too. But energetically, it's very dark. And the reason for that is so they're keeping these souls trapped. Where are these souls coming from? They're probably coming from just all the bad things that they've done in the past. You know, in German, we say Gräueltaten. I actually don't know what the English word for that is, like the really bad things that they've done in the past.